The 1970s was the golden period of motorcycles, and it's not even close. The 70s was when manufacturers went wild, in the best way. It was the era of the first superbikes, the birth of sports bikes, and some of the most beautiful machines ever built. They were art. They're why half of us fell in love with riding. We're counting down the top 10 motorcycles from the 1970s that seriously need a comeback in 2025. And when you see number 1, you want to sell everything you own to make it happen. Number 10. 1977 Yamaha RD400. And number 10 is the bike that proves small displacement could be absolutely mental. The 1977 Yamaha RD400. This two-stroke twin was basically a street-legal GP bike anyone could buy. It made 44 horsepower from just 400cc, but weighed only 350 pounds. That power-to-weight ratio was supercar territory, and the delivery was pure chaos. It hit 60 miles per hour in under 5 seconds, topped out at 105, and screamed with the iconic two-stroke soundtrack. What made it special was how it demanded your full attention. Nothing below 4,000 RPM, then a wild rush past 6,000. You had to keep it on the pipe and really ride it. Lazy riders got punished. Good ones got pure joy. Today's 400s are efficient but dull, designed by committees, not maniacs trying to make two strokes faster. The RD400 was pure instinct, built to go fast and sound amazing. A modern RD400 with clean two-stroke tech, modern safety, and that same raw energy, it would blow today's small bikes out of the water and cost less than $8,000. Number 9. 1974 Laverda SFC 1000. Coming in at number 9 is the bike that proved Italians could do more than build pretty singles, the 1974 Laverda SFC 1000. This triple-cylinder beast was Laverda's answer to the question, what if a motorcycle sounded like a Formula 1 car? It made 80 horsepower from a 1000cc triple. Serious stuff for 1974. But the real magic was in the build. The SFC was hand-assembled with a level of detail that made other bikes look like they were built in a shed with a hammer and hope. That 120-degree firing order gave it a sound all its own. Exotic, refined, and unlike anything else on the road. It felt more like riding a mechanical sculpture than just a bike. The SFC captured the best of Italian engineering before it got obsessed with sharp edges and tech overload. It was fast, functional, beautiful, and full of character. Modern Italian bikes are incredible, but they're all about numbers. The SFC was about feel. A modern version would be the thinking rider superbike, performance wrapped in pure artistry. Number 8. 1979 Honda CBX 1000. At number 8, we've got Honda's wildest project of the decade, the 1979 CBX 1000. This wasn't just a motorcycle, it was Honda flexing hard, proving they could build anything, no matter how insane, and make it flawless. The CBX had a 1047cc inline-six, making 105 horsepower and revving to 9,000 RPM. But the real magic was the sound. Think 1970s Formula 1 car on 2 wheels, 6 cylinders, 6 carbs, 6 exhaust pipes, and a soundtrack that gave goosebumps. Typical Honda, overbuilt, refined, bulletproof. While others were still perfecting 4s, Honda casually unleashed a 6 that could outlast the apocalypse. The CBX wasn't cheap or practical. It wasn't supposed to be. It was about showing what's possible, and honestly, it still is. A modern CBX with today's tech, fuel injection, electronics, lightweight materials, wouldn't just be a bike, it'd be a legend reborn. Honda, we know you've got the tools. Time to bring the 6 back. Number 7. 1975 Moto Guzzi Le Mans. Number 7 takes us to the bike that proved rules were optional, the 1975 Moto Guzzi Le Mans. While everyone else chased inline 4s and parallel twins, Guzzi stuck with their oddball longitudinal V-twin, and somehow created magic. The Le Mans made 71 horsepower from 850cc, which wasn't groundbreaking, but the handling was razor sharp, the brakes were phenomenal, and the whole package had character for days. That V-twin delivered torque like a freight train and a soundtrack straight out of an Italian opera. What made it legendary? It was fast everywhere. Twisties, rough pavement, bad roads, you name it. While other bikes needed perfect conditions, the Guzzi thrived where real skill mattered more than spec sheets. It summed up everything great about Moto Guzzi. They didn't follow trends, they just made bikes their own way. And it worked. Shaft drive, oddball engine, Italian flair. It all clicked into something unforgettable. Modern Guzzis are fine, but they play it safe. The Le Mans didn't. It was weird, bold, and totally confident in being different. A 2025 version could be the antidote to cookie-cutter sport bikes. Number 6. 1976 Kawasaki KZ900. And number 6 is the bike that should have outshined the CB750, the 1976 Kawasaki KZ900. It was Kawasaki's answer to Honda's 4-cylinder success, and in many ways, it was the better machine. The KZ900 made 82 horsepower from 903cc, well beyond Honda's 750. But the real difference? Character. Where the Honda was smooth and polite, the Kawasaki was raw and aggressive. It had just enough roughness to remind you this thing had serious power. It also looked meaner. The KZ900 had sharp lines, more attitude, and the kind of styling that screamed 100 mph while parked. It was more exciting than the other Japanese bikes and far more reliable than anything British at the time. The sad part? The KZ900 hit just as emissions rules were starting to kill performance. Early models were wild and loud. Later ones? Not so much. The current Z900 is great, but it's too civilized. The original had flaws, but that's what made it unforgettable. It shouted for attention. A 2025 version that brings back that raw energy with modern tech under the skin? That's what we're waiting for, Kawasaki. Number 5. 1978 Yamaha XS 1100. Number 5 is the bike that redefined too much. The 1978 Yamaha XS 1100. This was Yamaha's nuclear option in the displacement wars, and it was gloriously over the top. It packed an 1101cc inline-4, making 95 horsepower and enough torque to yank tree stumps. This thing pulled hard from any RPM, in any gear, and never quit. The quarter mile vanished in under 12 seconds. Superbike territory back then. What made it stand out? It was a gentleman's express. While other big bikes were moody and brutal, the XS 1100 was smooth, reliable, and surprisingly civilized. You could tour, commute, or just obliterate stoplights. It was the Swiss Army knife of muscle bikes. The XS 1100 embodied 70s excess, massive power, massive presence, and zero apologies. It was a muscle car on 2 wheels, built in an era where nobody cared about MPG. Modern big bikes are high-tech and refined, but they don't have that intimidating mechanical aura. A new XS 1100, big engine, basic frame, no nonsense, would be the perfect comeback for riders who want max impact without all the digital fluff. Number 4. 1973 Ducati 750 Supersport. At number 4, we've got the bike that stamped Ducati's name into racing history, the 1973 750 Supersport. This wasn't just a motorcycle, it was a race bike you could plate and ride to the track. They made 65 horsepower from a 748cc L twin. Not mind-blowing, but enough when paired with its surgical handling, powerful brakes, and iconic Italian styling. The 750 SS looked like it was sculpted, not assembled. Ducati's signature desmodromic valve system let the engine rev freely and pull across the entire power band. Combined with a lightweight chassis and ideal weight balance, this thing destroyed twisty roads. It was the thinking rider's superbike. The 750 SS was everything Ducati stood for: elegant design, focused engineering, and zero compromises. It wasn't about comfort or convenience, it was about the ride. Modern Ducatis are brilliant, but loaded with tech. The 750 SS was raw and rewarding. No electronics, just perfect tuning and rider skill. A modern reboot with that same purity? It'd be the ultimate sport bike for real enthusiasts. Number 3. 1972 Kawasaki H2 750. The bronze medal goes to the bike that redefined fast, the 1972 Kawasaki H2 750. If the H1 500 is dangerous, the H2 was downright homicidal, and we loved every terrifying second of it. It packed a 748 two-stroke triple, making 74 horsepower, and only weighed 420 pounds. Power delivery? Like being hit by lightning. Nothing, then warp speed and a prayer for working brakes. It was the fastest production motorcycle when it launched, doing 12-second quarter miles and topping 120 miles per hour. But the speed was only half the story. The real thrill was the chaos, the sound, the smell, the vibration, the unpredictability. The H2 was everything wild and reckless about 70s performance bikes. It demanded respect, skill, and a strong survival instinct. Every ride felt like it could be your last, in the best possible way. Today's bikes are faster but safe. Traction control, ABS, ride modes. The H2 had none of that. It was raw, violent, and alive. A modern version with clean two-stroke tech and basic safety gear would be the ultimate throwback thrill ride. Number 2, 1975 BMW R90S. Coming in at number 2 is the bike that proved Germans could build something beautiful, the 1975 BMW R90S. This wasn't just a motorcycle, it was a rolling work of art that also happened to be one of the best bikes of the decade. It made 67 horsepower from its 898cc boxer twin. Good, not groundbreaking, but the real magic was in the details. Superb build quality, obsessive craftsmanship, and a riding experience like nothing else on the road. That boxer engine had endless character. Smooth, torquey, and unmistakable in sound. The handling was sure-footed, the brakes among the best of the time, and the styling, arguably the most beautiful of the decade. The R90S captured BMW at its creative peak, pairing the reliable boxer motor with styling that was functional and gorgeous. The bikini fairing, iconic paint, perfect proportions. It all just worked. Modern BMWs are technical masterpieces, but they lean practical. The R90S was both useful and stunning, fast, reliable, and elegant enough to display in your living room. A modern version would be the perfect blend of engineering and timeless design. Number 1, 1974 Kawasaki Z1 900. And taking the top spot is the bike that changed everything, the 1974 Kawasaki Z1 900. This wasn't just a motorcycle, it was a statement. The Japanese had arrived and were ready to own the superbike game. The Z1 made 82 horsepower from its 903cc inline 4, massive for 1974. But the magic was in the full package. Fast, reliable, beautiful, and attainable. It was everything British bikes claimed to be, but never quite were. It could run 12-second quarter miles, cruise at 100 miles per hour all day, and do it while looking absolutely stunning. The styling was aggressive but tasteful, like it was built for speed and knew it. The Z1 kicked off the modern superbike era. It proved performance didn't have to come with breakdowns or oil leaks. Kawasaki's whole reputation was built on this bike, and its influence is still everywhere. Modern leader bikes are impressive but complicated. The Z1 was raw, focused, and still drop-dead gorgeous. A reboot with fuel injection, updated suspension, and today's safety features? That would be the retro superbike of our dreams.